When it came down to superheroes growing up, I was showered over all different cases matter of intricate superhero adaptations and at the same time stories that reform the superhero genre even today. No matter the case, if it was DC, Marvel, or obscure characters like from Dark Horse Comics, adult, teen, PG, they all were cool in their own way, and regardless of being superhero or not, had some great ass form of story and complexity to them. But the number one character within Cartoon Network that always got me to go ahead and sit down, have a bowl of cereal, and indulge in whatever case of matter of antics was Ben 10. The kid with a watch that is the most powerful thing in his verse that allows him to turn in that first 10 aliens, and now within the greater case of his 10 year allows him to turn to 10,000 to even millions. In this video, as you see by the title that I've been cooking up, is going to be who would win, Ben 10, his 2005 version, aka when he's a 10-year-old kid, or Godzilla from the MonsterVerse, who has grown way more powerful since the case of matter of his newest movie, with the case of Godzilla X Kong New Empire, which I watched obviously already, being a 7.5 out of 10 to me. Cool movie, go watch it if you want. Regardless, I hope you guys will enjoy with the case of matter of the King of the Monsters facing the hero of Earth, and most importantly, later to be the hero of heroes.
Give me head. 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 Bad bitch. And she finna. Give me head. She wanna come and just. Give me head. I don't wanna fuck just. Yeah, all of these niggas are hating on me, but it's been with us. Yeah, his mama. Keep your clothes on and give me head. All of these niggas they told me to walk on the motherfucking beat. I ran. I blow the shit up on me and I ran. That's if I'm to go like bitch I am. So his bitch. And I slam this bitch like a motherfucking slave. The minute she saw me, you know that she flashed. She fucking with me cause she know I'm a head. GLOUP. They wanna be like me. Can't walk my session is VIP. I'm so high up, can't be where I be. Like don't try us a DIE.
I've talked about Ben 10 here and there on this channel when it comes down to the case of his individual aliens, the different case versions of them, in the case of matter of individual to a case of the point. But now talking about Ben 10 himself as a combatant and better learning, rewatching Ben 10, and just having a better case of matter of love for Ben 10 more than ever as being one of my childhood heroes in this case, like a lot of people possibly if you're a culture person. I'm here to talk about him indiscriminately, not in the case of matter of being weird or bad. With this being said, me talking about him individually with aliens or indiscriminately, when I say this, I mean this in the credit of like giving him his full stuff slash shining out the best of him, not necessarily in a bad way, because I don't want that to sound like it's in a weird sense. And obviously this is 2005 version, but being post the matter of the show Secret of the Omnitrix Race Against Time as a third movie, aka the CGI movie. I don't think it's canon because of the inconsistencies and arguable contradictions of stuff with characters, but at the same time it doesn't really matter because all the power scaling is pretty consistent and not out of touch. And most importantly, we're giving him master control. I just want to make all that clear before we get into anything else, in case anybody, I don't know, within watching this before or going about seeing different stuff of my channel will go ahead and think, I don't know how much of a good source this man is. I promise I'm going to be giving the best matter of showcasing a Ben 10 and understanding as good as I possibly can. But enough with the whole case matter of ganja. Time to talk about Ben 10 with his main echelon of aliens and other stuff. So Ben 10, within the series, is a 10-year-old boy, and on his summer break, he goes with his grandpa, Max, an ex-plumber, aka pretty much a fighter for Earth's survival, makes at the same time a space cop in a way against alien threats and things like that. It's a whole thing. And his cousin Gwen, who is half human, half alien, just like Ben, the greater matter family, that's tied to alien race that has great magical capabilities, and is pretty much the race of the universe that is the most integrated into the magical arts world. But later on, she develops a greater case of magical strongness to it, like how there's people in Star Wars that are more force sensitive and strong like that. She's the strongest in the matter of that because of just having the wild potential and the fact that Gwen is goated. Rest in peace to the voice actress. Ben will go out into the forest just to go ahead and clear the air of his mind, but instead would see the case of a crashing in his mind star meteor And this man would go to the case of the crash site dumbassly and gain the Omnitrix, the most powerful weapon slash case technology in the universe that was made by Azimuth, a Galvan, aka the same race as Grey Matter, one of his aliens, his smartest alien, all around the bunch. And he created it to be a case matter of peace treaty to all matter of aliens and pretty much be a way to communicate, understand, and unravel the differences of each other to make people in the galaxy, just all around the universe, be more closer. Ben does not know any of that, and so at the start he would be using it to go ahead and turn to aliens willy-nilly, kick alien and same time bad guy, but and being a hero. And even with not understanding the greater philosophical form means of it, he would use it like a champion. And Ben 10 at first had 10 aliens of all different bunches, including Forearms, Stinkfly, Heat Blast, Gray Matter, Ghost Freak. You had Rip Jaws, Accelerate, Wildmutt, and I forgot the two others was being said, but doesn't matter. He would gain a lot more, and at the end of the case of 2005, he has like 15 plus to 20 plus case matter of aliens in multiple forms. Again, we're just talking about 10-year-old Ben for the record here, but you know, in the technical sense, there's a version of him within the multiverse, aka his in 10-year Ben 10,000, where he obviously has like hypothetically 10,000 aliens. But still, Ben, besides his matter of history, is a very dynamic and adaptable fighter when it comes down to mass control and the great capabilities of the Watch. With a mass control, this means that he can turn into aliens willy-nilly and doesn't have a time limit to conserve his DNA, because his DNA is obviously ingrained into the Watch that allows him to literally transform in figurative form, but at the same time literally in the case of aliens in a shape-shifting way. And from this is pretty much a practice thing. But within mass control, just within a thought, aka his DNA syncing within motion, he could just turn into any matter of alien. And his aliens have all had multi-consistency in the case of matter at the lowest ends, like how I feel like displayed a wrong showcasing of someone like Vilgax's feats, as from taking in the better echelon stuff with Ben 10, and most importantly, consistently, I actually know that Vilgax is way more powerful than I gave him credit for, and would demolish the case of the 7. But besides that, at the lowest end, like I scale with Vilgax, even with being a low ball misrepresentation, he would be scaling within the small building plus to city level matter of scaling, but on the hyper greater echelon of people that he has, I would say that the low to mid case of matter for some of his more weaker aliens, like in the case of matter of Rip Jaws, Stinkfly, and every case of matter people, from a case of attack potency scale within the mix, this man would reasonably be having the case of large building to at the highest end city block level plus matter of scale. I think all around, when it comes down to his greater stand-up form of power and capabilities and consistency, especially scaling with the Vilgax and Kevin 11, he should reasonably stand at bar none when it comes down to consistency and attack potency all around. Would be scaling about from different cows and showcases that I'm showing from here. It's scaling to Vilgax as Diamond Head, being able to survive his blows and same time bang out with Kevin 11, one of his most versatile and powerful villains, would make him reasonably in the bar of planet level, and then at the same time scale him higher than that. I would say you could get large planet plus, but it isn't as consistent as others. So I would say planet plus and largest slash wank is large planet, what is being said. But the reason for this is, again, with the case of matter of him scaling to Vilgax and Kevin 11, who are both banging out with each other, and because Omniverse is canon, as I thought that was a rebooted form, and only Benton the Alien Force and Ultimate Alien was canon, and Omniverse was a reboot. That's my bad. That's me not having the education and doing the diligence. I thought was not. But regardless, the case of matter, the consistency that comes with that is the fact that Vilgax was able to defeat a guy like Ben, who's able to defeat a guy like Metroblin, who's able to absorb and console energy enough to destroy a planet. And as Diamond Head, one of the weak to mid-form aliens of Ben, was able to defeat him. And then you have him consistently being on the rival of, again, reasonable planet to planet plus on a consistent scale. And in comparison with Forearms, who is able to be contingent with Kevin 11, and even just Ben fighting a deformed Kevin 11 with absorbing a little grasp of Forearms DNA, turning into the same thing as him, but more of a mutant, was able to best. As way big, he was able to fodder someone like Vilgax, because obviously being bigger and barely even taking any damage from him. And with other case aliens, like the case of his teleological alien, I forgot his name, being able to absorb technology or blows that could be on that same matter of input or output. And just consistently has shown aliens that are strong enough, durable, and capable to stand strong to that. So, pretty consistently within the same margin, again, unless you more strike a new case matter waiting for the largest matter of planet stand, from planet plus to large planetary. Ben should scale within that pretty strongly and consistently, just as a 10-year-old, with that being said. And not just with Kevin 11 and Vilgax, he's defeated Ghost Freak through multiple case of not base / planned out means, and at the same time defeated his 3 rows gallery of Halloween aliens, has been able to defeat multi-case matter foes throughout his entire tenure as a 10-year-old, and just be a very cracked out case matter of individual when it comes down to consistent beatings and versatility with his aliens and capabilities. But also at the same time scaling to these people and travel speed, especially with Accelerate, his fastest alien, with my low ball and discrediting the Vilgax, the GOAT in this case, will put Ben, when it comes down to speed, on the lowest end of relativistic sub to mid to the Great Echelon massively faster than light. As a general great case of his aliens, from the lowest end on some of them, you could try to go and say, but I feel like it's a big case of matter of disingenuousness. It's massively hypersonic and travel speed, but with the reaction speed mixed with a considerably strong sense of them scaling to the reaction speed on a greater deal, this would put him in relativistic, as a lot of his aliens, damn near all of them, scale to dodging lasers, blasts, that are plasma, different vulture cannons, and different things that could be considered to be that at face value. Being able to scale to Vilgax, outrun different stuff. Accelerate was able to run so fast. We saw him moving in slow motion. That is on the same level of Metro Man. Not in the same stand, but is considerably similar. And Accelerate multiple times, showcase capability to be moving hyper fast and seeing lasers being shot at him so slow that it doesn't even matter to him. Being able to outdo different stuff. Upchuck also was able to actually remember this in the split second. I need to go and show the scans of this, but Upchuck was able to absorb a full concentrated blast of the sun, which is consistently showcasing him to be above that. Now in full concentrated and greater deal, that is a multi-continental and the greatest one you can do it, even though it's not on the same general stem buzz, it still is on planet, and maybe you could try to get that to star, but it's one sense of concentrated. He's not absorbing the full matter of power of the sun. It's a concentrated form of the sun's energy, which is a multi-continental to high-end planet service to planet level thing, which is another great consistency. But consistently has showcased that on its own. He can even just shoot lasers and do different things like that on that level. So yeah, in conclusion, Ben is a planet plus to massively faster than light person when it comes down to the greater echelon of his speed and capabilities on those means. And yeah, pretty much it. Now it's time to go and talk about Big G. Godzilla, the king of the monsters, Big G, Big Go, the goddamn menace. The king of the monsters, as I said, for a very long time, been around before the case of the Jurassic and Permian era, aka the prime times of the world, and is a behemoth that has always been feared and held to a god stand more than ever, and had the title of being God in comparison to the King of Skull Island, King Kong, aka Kong in the case of matter of the Monsterverse. He is a very powerful and ancient, experienced being, having the body of like a T-Rex with the arms, but is versatile, crocodile, Brutaceous, Killer Instinct personified, Big Dog, Big Brock. Has been a killer of multiple in case of matter of kaijus and beings to go and preserve order in the world. He's a force of nature for the grace of the world and for the title of being the goddamn GOAT. Godzilla multiple times within the verse showcases the case of low-end country to multi-continental case feats within the start with taking out the Mutos, having his atomic breath build up from the case of him being able to absorb radiation and build up multi-case megatons of power from it, scaling to Ghidorah in the past and even when Ghidorah is more powerful, clinching to the point of being at the lowest end multi-continental to easily planet to large planetary levels a matter of attack potency, with the scaling and feats in multiple accounts being here, and in the comics showcasing multi-different versatility with the atomic breath and multi-different forms of unit-like form brawling and capabilities. With his long-ass tail used in the multiple forms of offense, he has showcased, even with being pure killer instinct, he does have a tick of precision on his capabilities and preciseness. His greatest capabilities, obviously the atomic breath, which he can charge it to greater megatons. He scales to the atomic breath for being able to scale to Kong, who is able to scale to it in speed with a shard of one of Godzilla's races, and taking this and forming into an axe as it already was, or maybe he actually made it. I forgot because I haven't watched Godzilla vs. Kong in a minute, but still, it is what it is. In this case, taking again the shard of one of Godzilla's races in the form of this possibly his ancestor, and taking that and being able to use it as an axe powered up with the power of Godzilla's atomic breath and smacking it on the man. And so, with that being said, that makes the case of Godzilla easily and relativistic to the case of most times faster than light. So, with this being said, he is even in speed in comparison to Ben Tennyson, and with the case of Godzilla X Kong New Empire, showcasing a new form beyond the case of a supernova form that is a whole different conversation for this, that makes him get from the case of large planetary to reasonably the case of getting onto dwarf star level to, if you wink, possibly getting onto large star. But it's more consistently, I feel like, a good dwarf star to multi-dwarf star level case of a fighter in comparison. And yeah, pretty easy said for the case of Big G. When it comes down to the fight though, these characters are reasonably even depending on how you see it, as Ben obviously has the multi-case relative to Fast and Light as a matter of speed feats to easily, with the case of Accelerate, could possibly boost to getting to a greater massively faster than Light as a matter of scale, and with multiple cases of his minions and getting case of matter of hacks, getting him possibly some better versatility within the matter of the fight, and easily having characters that scale in the large planetary to at lowest end rank, but considerably, I would say, consistent, maybe getting him past a case of dwarf star level and multi. But I would say for the most part they are very even tick for tat. How I see this fight going is in multiple forms of possible capability. I see most of the time, ironically, Godzilla getting the dub because I feel like Ben, even with Master Control, could not get around the gigantic size of Godzilla, as way big will get stomped. He can never get close enough to his mouth to go inside of him, pause, and bust him open from the inside. And there's an argument because of his gamma radiation, the argument of also you can't really tell if he's not as durable as he is on the outside and the inside. And this was talked about by the programmer with Levi fighting Kong, and just the pure fact that Godzilla could erupt so many different versatile ways with his atomic breath that he could destroy him with just his aura by itself. His experience, that count that he would just be too much of an overwhelming behemoth, and the fact that Ben has never been on the same scale regardless of whatever arguable stand you want to put him on with Utter. And I don't even think Upchuck could like absorb the atomic breath with his mouth or do that much more durable, sustainable, because this new pink Super Saiyan Rose form is on a whole different cuffs, and the fact that he scaled to Shimu, who caused the Ice Age and froze Ghidorah, is a better form shine of feet in comparison to me. So again, I feel like that he was just all around best Ben, and I think all around Godzilla from the Monsterverse would just overshine him in this fight. The only way I could see Ben somehow winning is if you say a dumbass argument that somehow Ben could scan Godzilla and become him, which even then, at face value, would even get him the dub, because he wouldn't just be able to multi-time evolutionize as Godzilla. Two, he hasn't showcased that he could just master an alien just by coming it the first time, and that's shown multiple times within the original series, which is what we're talking about. Also, Godzilla in this version, and pretty consistently across all versions, is not an alien, which is the only form of being able to scan and duplicate powers in comparison with. He's not a Viltrumite, he's not a Kryptonian, he's not a Saiyan. Godzilla is a creature of the earth, and kaiju by definition does not mean alien, okay? And even the people that would be considered aliens, like Ghidorah and different versions of Mothra, even though I'm pretty sure she is native to earth just in different ways, that would not be that. So again, Godzilla to me gets the dub most of the time. I don't really see a way how Ben could get around his size, adapt, pull greater versatility. Godzilla has lived longer, has a way powerful octane, and eventually we'll either squash him, crush him, literally disintegrate him beyond comprehension, because I don't see how Ben, regardless of any alien except for Upchuck, Cannonbolt, and maybe way big within his greater capabilities that could possibly be shown with an Omniverse, could survive it or at least tank it enough. And even with Accelerate, even if you think he could boom way more faster, he can never dent Godzilla hard enough consistently, even if you think somehow he's faster. So yeah, Godzilla gets the dub for me. I would say mid to high diff. Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys want to see more of this, let me know. I hope you guys will enjoy the more busting I have planned. Love y'all. Peace out, my army.